What is a frog actually supposed to do at the table of a princess? And what is this magnificent horse-drawn carriage that has just arrived? Would you like to find out? Well then, let's take a look. There once was a king whose daughters were all beautiful. But the youngest daughter was the most beautiful of them all. Whenever it was hot, she would go to the well, which stood under the linden tree that grew in the large forest near the castle. There she would sit by the edge of the well and play with her favourite toy, a golden ball. The princess would throw the ball high in the air and catch it again and again. But one day, the princess missed the ball and it fell down into the well. The well was so deep that the princess couldn't see the ball. Then she started to cry. All of a sudden, someone called out to her, "Why are you crying so loudly, King's daughter?" The princess looked around and saw a frog who was sitting by the edge of the well. She told him what had happened. The frog said, "Do not cry, princess. I can help you. But what will you give me in return if I bring back your ball?" The princess said, "I will give you whatever you want. My clothes, my pearls and jewels, and even my golden crown." The frog, however, replied, "I'm not interested in any of that. But if you promise me that I may be your friend, sit at your little table, eat from your little golden plates, drink from your little golden cup, and sleep in your little bed, then I will bring you back your ball." To this the princess said, "I will promise you whatever you want, if you would only bring back my ball." But she thought to herself, "That frog can think whatever he wants, but he can just stay in the water and croak along with the other frogs. I don't want him as a friend." Once the frog had been given a promise from the princess, he leapt into the well and brought back the golden ball. The princess was very pleased. She took her ball and ran happily away. The frog shouted, "Take me with you!" But the princess did not listen to him, and so the frog had to stay behind. The next day the princess was sitting at the table with the king, eating from her little golden plate, when suddenly there was a knock at the door. Someone shouted, "King's youngest daughter, let me in." Upon hearing this, the daughter ran to the door to see who was there. When she opened the door, she saw the frog. She slammed the door shut and sat back down at the table. She was very nervous indeed. The king noticed this and asked his daughter why she was afraid. So the princess told her father what had happened. There was a second knock at the door, and the frog shouted, "King's youngest daughter, let me in. Do you not remember what you promised me yesterday at the well?" Then the king said, "If you make a promise, you must also keep that promise. Go and let him in." The princess opened the door and the frog hopped inside. He jumped after her and onto the table. Then he sat himself down beside her and began to eat from her little golden plate. When he had finished, he said, "Now I'm tired. Carry me to your little bed." The princess began to cry, but this made the king very cross, so she took the frog and carried him to her room. She put him in a corner and went to bed. When the frog crept over to her, the princess became angry and threw him against the wall. When he fell to the floor, the frog turned into a handsome prince. This prince told the princess that a wicked witch had put a spell on him, and that the princess had now broken the spell. They could get married if that's what she would like. The princess did indeed want to marry the prince, because the prince had been saved. Now you know the story of the Frog King and...
Now, here's the real story of Frankly, I Never Wanted to Kiss Anybody, The Story of the Frog Prince, by Nancy Lowen. You have to kiss a lot of frogs to find your prince. I bet you heard that one before, and I bet you're thinking, ew, kissing a frog would be gross. Well, I just happen to be the former frog who inspired that saying. My name is Prince Puckett, and let me tell you, that kiss was no picnic for me either. Here's the real story. I was playing baseball the day Hank's mom turned me into a frog. One moment I was about to catch Hank's top fly, which would help give us the team championship. And the next moment I was flopping around on the ground with more legs than I knew what to do with.
Sorry, kid. To break the spell, just get a princess to kiss you. But she can't know you're a prince.
Well, whether I was a prince or a frog, I wasn't about to kiss any girl. And as soon as I found out that being a frog had its perks, I could see almost all the way around my head. I could swim and dive like nobody's business. And boy, could I jump. I jumped and jumped and jumped all the way to a new home near a well under the old linen. One day I was playing Kick the Mushroom with my frog buddies when I heard an unmistakable sound of a ball smacking into a glove.
That's the princess. She's always coming out here to practice.
I listened to the smack, 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 and I wished that I could just be a regular baseball playing prince again. Then it happened. Smack, smack. The ball landed in the well.
That was my lucky ball.
The gang gathered around me.
If you offer to get the ball, she'll offer to pay you back somehow. Then you can ask for that kiss.
Go on. Think of your teammates back home. I worked up my courage and jumped beside her. Would you like me to get your ball?
You? Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt to try.
I hopped into the well and kicked the ball out.
How could I ever repay you? Just ask and it's yours.
You can. I'd like a kiss. I want you to kiss me.
Blah!
We stared at each other.
Nope, can't do it.
Well, that made me a little mad. A deal's a deal, right? It took me a while, but I jumped and followed her back to her castle. The princess wouldn't open the door, but I stood there until her father, the king himself, let me in. I told him about our agreement.
My daughter must keep her word.
Then he plopped me down next to her at the dinner table.
I'll kiss you after we eat. Promise.
But as soon as she'd swallowed her last bite of lemon tart, she dashed up the stairs.
I hopped after her.
I'll kiss you right before I go to sleep.
But she pulled the covers over her head and quickly began to fake snore.
I spotted her lucky ball in the corner. Well, I guess I'll be going now. Since you won't kiss me, I'll be taking this.
The princess flung off the covers.
No, wait, I'll do it.
She picked me up and held me to her face.
I closed my eyes.
I closed my eyes. Then her lips touched mine.
Ugh!
I felt myself being hurled into the air, and then suddenly I was stumbling around with 2 legs, 2 arms that I didn't know what to do with.
You're a prince!
What an arm. Did we fall in love, get married, and live happily ever after? No way. But my team got a great new starting pitcher.
The end.